They got a dog instead of having a baby. Their friends said it as a joke, but Lucas walked through the front door 3 days later holding a fawn-colored Fila Brasileiro puppy named Kirela. That was 18 months ago, and today, Kirela is sleeping with her head resting gently over Isabella's pregnant belly, exactly where she's been every single night for weeks. Some love stories don't begin the way you expect. They don't start with the perfect plan or a carefully mapped out timeline. Sometimes they begin with a joke, a casual, offhand comment made at a dinner table that one person takes just a little too seriously. That's exactly how Kirela came into Isabella and Lucas's life. Isabella and Lucas had been married for just over a year. They were happy. Deeply, quietly happy in the way that newlyweds settle into. Morning coffees together, lazy weekend routines, the kind of life that feels full, but also somehow like it's still just getting started. And somewhere in the middle of all that warmth, the question began to surface. A baby. They talked about it, they went quiet about it, they talked about it again. Neither of them was ready to say yes, but neither of them was ready to say no either. It lived somewhere in between, this beautiful, terrifying idea of a child, floating just out of reach, like something they both wanted but weren't sure they deserved yet. It was during one of those conversations, shared with close friends over dinner, that someone laughed and said it. If you're not sure you're ready for a baby, just get a dog first. Practice. Everyone laughed. Isabella laughed. It was a joke. Clearly a joke, and the evening moved on. But Lucas didn't quite let it go. 3 days later, Isabella heard the front door open. She walked into the living room, and there was Lucas, standing in the doorway with the most serious expression on his face, holding a small, wrinkled, fawn-colored puppy with enormous paws and sleepy brown eyes, a Fila Brasileiro. Isabella stared. Lucas smiled carefully. "She's our practice," he said. Isabella opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again, and then she looked at the puppy, this tiny, trembling, impossibly soft creature tucked against Lucas's chest, and she felt something shift deep inside her. She crossed the room, she took the puppy from his arms, and the puppy immediately buried her nose into the curve of Isabella's neck and let out the smallest, most contented sigh in the world. They named her Kirela. Kirela was, from the very beginning, exactly what a Fila Brasileiro is supposed to be: devoted, dramatic, and deeply convinced that she was the most important creature in any room she entered. She followed Isabella from room to room, she sat at Lucas's feet during every meal, she slept between them, taking up far more of the bed than her size should have allowed, and looking deeply offended any time either of them suggested she move. She was, in every possible way, their baby. Months passed. Kirela grew, quickly, impressively, gloriously. The tiny puppy became a powerful, lean, tawny dog with a black velvet mask and eyes that seemed to understand things she had no right to understand. She reached 1.5 years old, and somewhere along the way, she stopped being a joke and started being a member of the family in the most complete sense of the word. Stories like Kirela's are exactly why we believe some animals find us on purpose. And still, the question of a real baby remained unanswered. I see you still haven't subscribed. Honestly, that breaks my heart a little. Hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss what happens next. Isabella and Lucas told their friends and family again, still not sure, still waiting for the feeling of readiness that everyone promised would eventually come. And again, someone laughed and said it. Still not ready? Just get another dog, more practice. The table erupted in laughter. Isabella laughed too, but this time she looked across the table at Lucas, almost instinctively, the way you look at someone when you're bracing for something. Lucas looked back at her, and Isabella raised one finger, slowly, deliberately. Don't. Lucas gave her his most innocent smile. She pointed the finger directly at him. I mean it. He nodded very seriously. He was absolutely, completely, 100% going to behave himself. Kirela, at home on the couch, had no idea she was at the center of this negotiation. She was, as she often was in the evenings, asleep on Isabella's side of the bed, her heavy head resting on Isabella's pillow, dreaming whatever enormous, dramatic dreams a Fila Brasileiro dreams. Some bonds form before they're even fully understood. What Isabella didn't know that night, what neither of them knew yet, was that something had already quietly, gently, beautifully changed. It was Kirela who noticed first, not with any dramatic gesture, not with barking or pacing or urgency. It was something softer than that, a shift so subtle that Isabella almost missed it entirely. Kirela began to stay closer. She had always been devoted, but this was different. This was something more deliberate, more careful. She started resting her head in Isabella's lap for longer stretches. She followed her to the kitchen, waited outside the bathroom door, pressed herself gently against Isabella's side when they sat together on the couch in the evenings. Lucas noticed before Isabella said anything. "She's being weird," he said one night, watching Kirela lay her heavy head directly over Isabella's stomach and close her eyes with an expression of complete and utter calm. Isabella looked down at the dog. She placed her hand over Kirela's warm back, and something in her chest went very quiet and very still. A few days later, Isabella took a test. 3 months. She was 3 months pregnant. She sat on the bathroom floor for a long time, the test in her hands, heart full of something that felt too large to name. And after a while, she opened the door, and Kirela was right there, sitting, waiting, tail moving slowly, those deep brown eyes steady and sure and completely unsurprised, as if she had known all along, as if she had been keeping watch over this secret for weeks, gentle and patient, waiting for Isabella to catch up. They weren't ready for a baby. That's what they had said for over a year with complete sincerity. They weren't ready. But perhaps readiness isn't something that arrives on a schedule. Perhaps it doesn't announce itself clearly or wait for you to feel completely certain. Perhaps sometimes it arrives quietly, in the form of a wrinkled Fila Brasileiro puppy with enormous paws carried through a front door by a man who took a dinner table joke just a little too seriously. Kirela didn't teach Isabella and Lucas how to be parents by being a substitute child. She taught them something else, how to show up every day for something that needs you, how to love something fiercely and gently at the same time, how to make room in your life for another heartbeat and discover that your own heart only grows larger for it. The joke was never really a joke. It was, it turns out, exactly the right advice. And somewhere in a warm house, a 1.5-year-old Fila Brasileiro is sleeping with her head resting over a growing belly, guarding, as she has always done, the person she chose as her own. Is this instinct or is this love? I'd say it's both. Tell me what you think in the comments.